A while ago, there was this series on TV. It was called American Gods. And I watched it and I really, really, really enjoyed it. There was a few parts that stood out to me that's happening in today's world, in today's world right now. And that was a part of the new God being this, web, this internet, this place we go to get information. And that's what's happening now, the takeover of the new God, of where we go to understand or ask questions, ponder, and see if there's anyone else out there pondering the same. But the old gods were the gods of yesterday, where we were in a more of a limited world in our own senses anyway, because we didn't have all of this connection happening, and we had to ask God. We had to pray. We were told stories about the different gods and their stories on humanity and how they handled the human condition, which has been going on forever and ever and ever, right? We've all pondered the same questions, asked, where do we go from here? What happens next? Or, why, if we have no rain, like the God of rain, please come rain down on us. And that was the day of yesterday. That was the old gods. And these old gods are fighting, to stay alive in this new world of technology, right? And it's quite the battle. It's quite the battle. But the old gods have their place. I always rooted for the old gods, always. Then I started to understand that we really have to use what's in front of us, this technology, the new way of living. We've made the world a lot smaller, and there's a lot more access to information that we need that we're inquiring about, right? So I started to realize, no, this is really useful. For a long, long time, I was like, no way. I'm a meditator. I do a lot of meditation. I do a lot of self-inquiry, and I've rolled that way for a long time, a very long time, but specifically last 20 years of my life, where I've had a little bit more room without, the without family and different issues that I've had to take care of. It's been I've had a little bit more space to do some inquiry and, look at life in a bigger form instead of my everyday needs, my family, all of that stuff that we all go through. But I was definitely connected to the old gods, right? So me moving into this technology has been quite an eye-opener. And at times I'm like, holy, this is amazing, this is great. Like answers like that, answers at your fingertips. And then I started to see, as we are developing more and more in this world of technology, in this world of having fast answers and fast information, the downfalls to our human condition and our psychological under the effects psychologically on us with this, and what we really have to be more aware of in this new way of seeking answers. And that, number one, and I've spoken about it before, is discernment, is knowing what's in front of you and knowing what's truth and what's just a story, or what is out there just for rates, or what is, soulless, right? I find that for humans to really absorb information, there has to be a sense of truth, that we all don't really know that we have these spidey senses to pick up on truth. Some of our senses are still asleep, of course. And that's a problem. We have to wake them up. We have to wake our senses up. So then you have to embrace the old way. In order to wake your senses up, you have to embrace the way of sitting back, leaning back, staring out at the water, staring at the mountains, asking. And if you have no belief system, no belief of God, no belief of the universe, start to develop one. Just start to develop one. The fact is that you need to develop your senses. I used to say years ago, when I was pondering and didn't really know where I was going, I used to say, I'm going to go talk to the wind. And I'd go for long walks, and I would, if my mind was rolling, I'd let it roll until it rolled out, right? Until it was nothing else to roll on. You don't stop things from happening within yourself. You exhaust it, you let it go, you let things happen and let things be, right? There are certain hacks you can do to stop certain habits from happening, or to quiet your mind a little bit more. But the old ways, my friends, the old ways are the ways that work. We are in a world now where there is a lot of falsehood. Okay, a lot of people out there that are giving you ways to enlightenment and ways for ascension and ways out of the matrix, right? I'll show you the way out of the matrix. Okay. And it's not as it seems. When you're a little bit novice and you really want to stop all this craziness in front of you, the only way out is the way through. That's the only way out, is the way through. It's not rocket science, but it takes effort. It takes effort to understand that concept, the way through. Okay, it's been talked about for thousands of years. And just because our world is in a transition right now doesn't mean that those old ways are insignificant. I think they're more significant now than ever, to be able to see through the chaos. All right. And you will be walked down the garden path with falsehood. So make it your, how shall I say, make it, what am I going to say here? Just get with the program of yourself, of seeing things correctly. I watched a video saying, this is what God is saying. Well, stop going to other people to hear what God is saying. If that's what you want to hear, go to yourself and see, because it comes directly to you. There are no specific people out there that God is going to give you a message from, unless you have the ears to hear, like that message is for me, right? Or because we really want to hear what we desire to hear. Okay, we want to hear the story that makes us feel good, or makes us go, oh yeah, that's my story, that's it. And that can take us down false paths and false avenues, right? So I ramble on sometimes, but it's so important. It's so very important to see the illusion here, okay? And use this new technology for good, instead of, the wool being pulled over your eyes, or people saying, they have the art of saying things that you want to hear. Sometimes life can be really hard, and you have to face some really big things about yourself that you don't even know are there. So if you really want to jump out of things and live a life that's true to yourself, get real with yourself. Go within yourself. Seek. There are so many people out there that show you how to go within. Speak the truth words, not false stories that you want to hear. You know, that's sad. That's sad to me. That and I know I when you're feeling down, you want to hear something that yes, that is me. I am this person. I am chosen. But there's work to do with that, and that work is being real with yourself and not just absorbing all of this, you know, false truths and false ways out of the matrix. And I'll do another video on how to get out of the matrix, because there is a way out, but it isn't, but it's a real way out. Okay. And it takes time and it's a journey. So welcome to Higher Ground, and I will see you on the path.